Hey everybody, Kim here with Little Biz Resources, and today we're going to be talking about local SEO services and how you can get started offering local SEO services even if you have no prior experience, and you can get started offering it in as little as 24 hours or less. Now this is a multi-part series. This is the 6th service, local SEO, out of 9 services. The first video in the series covered the 9 services as an overview. The second video has ideas for reaching out to find customers or clients in general. Then we have videos on each of the services, plus videos on how to sell services. Now, all of these videos are meant to help you get started if you want to offer different services, kind of give you an idea, get you started on the right resources. Links for additional resources will be in each video description on YouTube, or you can see all the videos and more at littlebizresources.com/9services. All right, so let's jump into local SEO services, which is search engine optimization. Quick considerations for this training. There are tons, and I mean tons, of alleged gurus that teach SEO. There are lots of different complex methods to some of the SEO methods. The purpose of this training is to teach you the method of least resistance with what is currently working. It doesn't apply to every single business because some businesses need complex methods, right? But I'm going to talk about different resources you can utilize to help speed up the process of offering the service. If you choose to use those recommendations, each resource will have its own specific training to help you on your journey. We're not teaching SEO. We're teaching how to offer the local SEO services and how to get started. A lot of that means if you don't know about SEO or what it is, then you're going to have to look at the resources in the description for more training. All right, so what are local SEO services? So SEO, or search engine optimization, is creating web pages, and hold on to that because we'll be kind of backing that off in a second, but generally it's creating web pages so they will show up in search results. Many SEO services help to optimize, right, to make them optimally visible. They optimize these elements so clients will get found on the first page of search results. That's the goal. Now, local SEO is specifically targeting local business that offer local goods and services, right? So Google My Business, or GMB, you'll see it that way, is critical for this, but it's super easy to manage now. We'll eventually have a Google My Business video, but it's so easy. It's like not even worth a video half the time now. Most local searches come from Google My Business and Google Maps. Okay, that's the search results are kind of combined for those who haven't followed the evolution of that. Now, technically, and this is going back to the web page idea, technically you do not need a website to rank in Google My Business or Maps because you have a Google My Business listing. You can just rank that listing. But you might get found for more keywords if you have a website or use something like Appomize for an app website combo experience. And that's simply because you can put more on a website. So what is the purpose of local SEO? Nearly half, and of course this number varies depending on the source, but let's just go with nearly half of all Google searches are local searches. Now, Google also delivers local search results for non-Maps and Google My Business searches. So for example, I have Celtic ornaments, and if somebody searches for Celtic ornaments, they may find out that they have local search results showing, even though that's not really a keyword that would show up for Google My Business or for Maps, right? So they're showing local shopping results even for shopping search terms that don't show up on their site or anything else. It's just something they're testing out. They've been doing it for a couple of years. Depends on the niche, depends on the keyword, etc. So lots of testing going on with Google all the time. Just something to keep in mind that there are no guarantees in the SEO world. Now, local SEO lets the Google My Business listing get found in the top results, ideally the top 3, right? Now, ultimately, this can drive more traffic. That's pretty much the whole point of SEO, right? Is to drive traffic. You're trying to get visible so people will make the click. But it doesn't always work that way. So something to keep in mind, and this is when competition is a big brand, and I'm going to say AT&T as an example. So I had a local security company my husband and I owned a few years back, and we were ranking in the first spot. Google did some changes, and all of a sudden AT&T started showing up. Now, we got a lot more clicks when AT&T didn't show up because AT&T is a huge brand. So people already know what AT&T is. They don't necessarily know what our security company was, right? So they see that in the search results. They're going to click on that. The more people who click on that, they're going to click on other companies. And that's just what happens with big brands, unfortunately. Now, with an increase in traffic, a local business can potentially, of course, increase leads and sales, improve conversions, and increase brand exposure. And those are just some of the benefits. Now, how do you offer local SEO services fast? It's important to get an understanding of what drives SEO. So I do recommend you watch the free online training in the description. There's actually 2 different ones that I recommend in there. Providing the service is not hard, right? So if you use resources to boost visibility to the Google My Business listing and website, follow the guidance from the resources in the description. You do not need an extensive knowledge to offer this. Just follow the existing systems. I kid you not, I have ranked stuff in the #1 spot with highly competitive businesses in the same niche, and I used 2 different tools, and each tool independently did it. I apologize if you hear my daughter in the back. I've recorded this about 15 times, but she can't stop coughing. All right, so what type of customers want local SEO services? Any businesses that rely on traffic, which is what makes local businesses ideal, right? Because they need that traffic locally. Focus on businesses that can afford to pay for SEO services. And of course, I have an entire video that talks about pricing considerations. So take a look at that to give some ideas on, give you some ideas. Because if I tell you, hey, charge X amount for SEO services, it's going to vary based on where you're at, right? Based on the niche, based on so many different things. Some businesses cannot afford a monthly recurring expense. Those are the ones you want to stay away from, right? Hair salons, even though they'd be ideal because you can drive a ton of traffic to them, they just don't have a high enough profit margin to pay for SEO services for the most part. Some of them might, most of them don't. Now, stay away from really competitive industries, especially when you first get started. As an example, lawyers, they can afford to pay for SEO services. Everybody knows that. But it's a competitive niche, and you may not be able to move their listings fast enough. So if they're ranking in the 4th spot and they're trying to get up into that top 3, you may not be able to budge them for 8 months, right? And we're like, hey, we're trying to get them something that we can move in the first 6 months. And you're like, hey, how do I figure that out? That's okay. That's what the training is for, right? Now, if you're brand new to SEO, watch the trainings. You'll see how to figure out which companies to target and which you can go for, right? If companies pay for leads, they will likely pay for SEO services. That's another thing to keep in mind. Now, feel free to test with your own listing, right? So create your own Google My Business listing. You don't have to have a website if you don't want to, though I will tell you, people will call you out on that. I don't know why they do. It shouldn't matter because you're focused on Google My Business, or you're focused on SEO for Google My Business. So if you can rank your Google My Business listing, that should be more than enough evidence. However, some people get nervous if they don't see that you have a website, because they do. So it's kind of up to you. I've seen some people get away with it, but most people get called out on it. They're like, oh, you don't have a website, then you can't possibly know my pain. I have ranked all of my sites in the first spot in Google My Business, all my local business sites, I should say, in the first spot of Google My Business, using the strategies taught in the free trainings, those 2 free trainings that I linked down there. So how do I find businesses that need local SEO services? Check the Home Advisor website to see what industries pay for leads. Then check the ranking in Google My Business. And this can vary day to day, hour to hour. So you may want to use a tool like SEMrush to check their rankings and watch it over a period of time, right? Because if you can say, hey, look, you've been here, or you're not staying in the top 3 or whatever, you have that data if you track them for like a week or 2 or maybe a month. And that will help give you that information to approach them, right? And then, of course, use tools like SEMrush to analyze potential competition for keywords, identify businesses that, I didn't fill that in, but that are, more likely in the need of services. So if they're already ranking in the top 3, they may already be paying for services. They may not. Ideally, people want to be in the first spot. But if you're in the top 3, you're getting views. So if they're in the 4th spot and on, if they're paying for SEO services, it's probably not working, and they're looking for somebody else. So you can use SEMrush to, if you target one keyword, you can look and see what they're reporting in there. Now, use Google My Business search tools. I have one that's linked in the description. It's really cool. You just basically search within Google My Business. It'll tell you a variety of different things of like whether they're claimed, not claimed in their Google My Business listing, which is kind of sketchy because Google likes to not report that accurately regularly. Don't know why, but it's just something that they do. But you can also do other things like check their SSL status and check other things that help them rank better. And that entire training will help you. And you can go through all of their training and everything easily within 24 hours. And even just that one tool can get you started finding clients and helping them optimize, right? Now, SEO services in and of itself can help, but if they don't optimize as well, then it's only gonna be a matter of time before somebody kicks them off the top 3. So if you can help them walk through all of those steps. So check out that resource if that's something you're interested in. Then you can target a specific niche and expand into other cities. So generally you're not going to take 3 roofing companies at the same time in one city. And that's because that's basically you're having them compete against each other, right? So that's kind of like not very honest. So instead, if you're going to target a specific niche, you need to just do, okay, I'm going to take one roofing company. I'm going to take one whatever in this city, and then I'm going to go over to another city. Sometimes it doesn't work this way. You just need to expand through. If you're just like targeting local clients, then your own city, then you need to go through a bunch of different ones, but don't take multiple roofing, multiple of the same niche, because that's just not very honest. So what other services can you offer? Now you can offer this as a standalone service. Tons of people do it. I do recommend you consider at least some sort of optimization beyond SEO services. But again, that's up to your experience. If you're like, hey, I just have no idea what I'm doing, but I want to help people, you can still do this, right? You can still do this. I've seen people rank just the Google My Business listing, just the listing. So if that's what you're targeting and that's what you're ranking for, then you don't have to worry about the website. Who cares what their website has going on or doesn't have going on? Though I will say, potential services to offer separate or as a bundle. Funnel services, that's the first one, right? SEO has the primary goal of driving traffic. So funnel services can help a business increase sales. And of course, you need to see the videos about those. Now, ebook or report creation. Many companies need a variety of options to test what is best to bring in clients. And it's really easy to offer ebooks and reports as an upsell. Hey, you have all this traffic coming in. You need to capture those leads. How do you do that? Offer a free ebook. Hey, we'll write the ebook for you. Now that's an upsell, right? Or part of our bundle. Now, email marketing, right? We're bringing people into the website, which again means more leads. It means more leads. You're offering them the report. You're going to grab their emails. And now you're going to need to keep in touch with these new leads. Then, of course, video creation. Videos help with conversions and retention, which contribute to better search results. So this is actually something that can help them in the long run just by having videos on their pages. So you say, hey, let's do a video for each one of your pages that people are coming into. Right? Let's do a video for your About Us. Let's do a video for your intro page. Let's do a video on all of these so people stay on your page longer and help with retention. Now, app design and hosting, which was this first service we talked about, I've tested this. Appamize, which is the app software we recommend, it does work as both a website and an app, plus it shows up in search results. So you can use this to attach it as the website for Google My Business. You can try to rank the site. I don't know how well it ranks, but it doesn't matter because you're ranking the Google My Business listing when it's local, right? So you can say, oh, I don't think that Appamize is going to work as well as WordPress. It doesn't matter because that's for local. It doesn't matter. You're looking at your Google My Business listing. All right. So next steps. In the next video in this series, we'll look at video creation services. Check out the links to the resources in the description. If you haven't checked out my ebook, $10,000 a month with only 10 sales, that link is also in the description. If you liked this video, please hit the like button and help the video spread to more people. Questions? Join the Facebook group. Come live on Thursdays and ask questions, or you can, of course, ask questions on the video. And I thank you for watching, and I thank you for your patience with my sick daughter. She's been pretty sick lately, so hopefully we'll get her better soon. I thank you again.